is a show hosted by Amber Amrhein, and Amber's an interesting person.
Yeah. So, Carl, first of all, had I come on originally when I was scheduled, this would not have been on my radar. I had 2 more weeks, found this, and I am over the moon that I found this podcast. This made me so happy just listening to this. There are people a lot of times on your show, and it's nothing against your show. You find podcasts that sometimes are racist, sometimes are homophobic, sometimes are overly, weirdly feminist, and it makes me sad sometimes that these people are talking. I am happy that this woman is out there just spreading nonsense that doesn't seem harmful, honestly, to anyone, but it's insane. Like, this is the wackiest stuff, and she is so sincere. There were times listening to this where I thought, well, this is just a joke, right? Like, this is some comedy bit that she's been doing for 40-some episodes. She's so sincere, and it's adorable and kind of scary at the same time.
Okay, I wasn't going to start here, but since you said that she's not harming anyone, there's no harm being involved.
Okay, wait. All right, go ahead.
If she does have listeners and an audience, these are very dumb people. I'd hate for someone to take advantage of dumb people by selling them a bunch of bullshit.
So I created a one-stop shop for all of your spiritually curious, psychic expansive self-care needs, where you can build your own spiritual practice with guidance, tools, and a safe place to explore your curiosities and connect to your intuition. There's a ton of crash courses covering topics ranging from meeting your spirit guides to trance channeling to manifesting. You get distance Reiki healings for a wide range of needs, such as moving through discomfort or support stepping into a new chapter, or even help calling in creativity.
You think you're sold on this.
Subscribers get 15% off all full price services.
Sounds pretty good, actually.
A monthly group Zoom hangout where the weird is
Take
our
my
normal.
money. Yeah.
There are exclusive channeling videos, expansive
Could you imagine what that group
conversations,
Zoom
guided
hangout is
meditations,
like?
movement meditations, weekly reflections,
I can, 'cause I
intuitive
listened to an episode.
practices, this podcast ad-free and as a video, and so much more. New content is uploaded every week, so there's constantly new stuff for you to learn from, digest, and various practices to keep you grounded in your body. And all of this, might I add, is only $7 per month. So if you're ready to align to your best self and show up as your inner being, a priceless investment in yourself, you can head over to channelwithamber.com/subscribe to give it a peek. I'll see you over there.
Needs to charge way more money for all of that.
Right, yes. Is it going to be too distracting, Carl, if while I'm on the show I'm signing up for this?
No, I think we all should be right now. Let's all get involved. All right, I was going to let you start things off because you have a bunch of clips here.
Sure.
And because you talked about not harming anyone, I wanted to point out that she is trying to take advantage of some really sick, mentally ill people who maybe are a little confused about what's going on.
Bilking people out of their hard-earned money. She's guilty of that, I guess.
All right, but other than that, though, this is a lot of fun. And where do you want to start? Maybe a clip that sums up the show for you.
Let's go way down to my sums up the show clip. It is just so this show. It's just a string of nonsense. And my clip 20 really does sum it up, because I told you this in a text, you can drop the needle anywhere on this show and find absolute gold.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a little confusing, but let's see what you have here.
You think?
Sometimes I get a little lost.
On my YouTube, I channeled an island called High Brazil. I said that it felt that there were other Earth-like planets where you just are born and this weird thing. There's something special about this planet that's a bit peculiar. But that I felt the Earth was almost like a battery pack for our universe.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
A lot of talk about energy on this show. There's a lot of energy going on.
A lot of talk about energy. And the episode I listened to, and I know you played sort of the stinger of this episode, was about ETs. Yes. Never says extraterrestrials. Can't believe it. Everything is ET this, ET that. And she talks to herself. She's sitting alone. Talks 45 minutes nonstop. Mm-hmm. I can't believe this. And she's 40-some episodes into this, and she just drones on and just meanders. A lot of this isn't even about extraterrestrials. Like, she gets into Play my number 21. Let's start here low.
Okay.
She starts talking about how much time and information is buried in the earth and how we're responsible. It's just nonsense. It's amazing.
There's so much time that has been, what's the word? Just saved, or that still resides in the land. And our job
Preserved?
as humans is to be the librarians. We are here to make sense of it and to be of it. We experience time in a very peculiar way that other ETs do not.
You don't believe what you're actually saying, right?
So that's something that I picked up on from this woman, because I've heard a lot of these types of people, like Riley Martin on the Howard Stern show.
Oh, God,
was one of these. A lot of the conversation reminded me of that, because he was abducted by aliens multiple times, and he knew all this stuff about alien life and would talk about it. But some people can sound intelligent while doing that, even though what they're saying is dumb. This woman is saying dumb things and sounds dumb at the same time.
She sounds like such an idiot. But she looks, and she would appear, Carl, I'm assuming you did some research, you found some videos, or at least saw some pictures of her.
Oh, yeah.
She looks like a normal human being. Like, this is not Riley Martin. I mean, sure, she has like piercings all over her face and her hair's colorful, but that's kind of it, to be totally honest.
All right, again, I'm jumping the gun on here, Doug, but since you brought it up, she actually does something that I was a little surprised about on her YouTube channel. She does
Hello, my friends. Welcome
makeup
back.
videos.
If you are new here, my name is Amber Amrhein. I'm a psychic medium and Reiki master in Usui, Crystal, and Karuna Reiki. We're going to be doing another Get Ready With Me. I'm going to be doing my hair and my makeup, and we're going to talk about fairies.
She's going to be doing her hair and her makeup, and we'll be talking about fairies. And Doug, I'm with you. And I'm like, is this a joke? This is funny, right? It's not.
Yeah.
That's not what she's going for. So what I thought I would do, I didn't actually watch this video, of course, but I did go ahead and fly to the end, because I want to see what she looks like after she's been transformed, after she's done her hair and her makeup. All right, everyone get a good look at where she's at right now, and then let's see where she gets to.
And then I saw my mom's energy fly back from the ceiling.
If you're just listening,
is that the same person?
She looks exactly the same. Her hair looks terrible.
That's incredible.
She woke up and was like, oh, are you okay?
She just pulled it up. What? Wow.
That's some makeup tutorial right there. I didn't see that one coming.
Let me show you how to mat your hair down.
I have to just get out of the rain look.
I honestly didn't see that coming, because she's also a dancer. Like, she's a professional dancer. I think she lives around Vegas and she does like showgirl stuff. So I assumed she'd look like a Broadway cat at the end of that video. I didn't think that's what I was going to see.
I didn't know that. She is in California. I looked at her website.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
But she could be close to Vegas. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
all right. So
sure they have shows out there.
Let me introduce the episode that I listened to. She brings on a special guest, and she's going to introduce who her guest is.
Rashad is my soul brother. Kind of like a twin flame, but it's not romantic. And there are 3 parts to our soul. Me, Rashad, and Peepo, who has also been on this podcast. So we come from the same soul. We are very much the same person.
That doesn't make any sense, Rick.
All right. So she brings on this guy that she refers to as her soul brother.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, well, I hope he's not like a black guy, because that would be, that would be
I was wondering, can you say soul brother?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, let's have a listen to what Rashad has to say here.
I learned that I did have implants from you and another friend of mine who is it's been a few people that have told me that I have implants. What are they? Where are they? Well, my first ones I learned about are in my ears. And I was like, why the hell are there implants in somebody's ears? Right. But they act as a certain kind of technology for being able to listen to extraterrestrials.
Okay. So Rashad here has been told by her that there's technology implanted into his ears so that he could hear extraterrestrials.
He seems very accepting of this.
Well, what I think is funny is, because he's going to talk about a lot of implants that he has going on throughout the episode. But when you say something that sounds so outrageous like that, the thing that you probably shouldn't do is compare that to something that's made up in fantasy. Because people are going to think like, wait a second, that sounds like it's maybe made up.
We learned that they are these little kind of antenna crystal things that stick up and out of my ears like an elf or you know what I think about? I think about the guy Spock from
Oh yeah.
Like kind of like pointy. I kind of think of him like that, but I don't know. So they act more as antennas.
Oh no, he brought up Spock.
He's not selling it.
Yeah. In case you guys think this is bullshit, it's just like that TV show about space travel. Okay, well.
Oh my God. Hey, can I jump in here? Because that
Please.
leads into one of my clips, because she talks about how sometimes when aliens do things to you, you don't remember it because they have a way of erasing parts of your memory. Now, I believe she saw a movie,
Yep.
and
Familiar with
I
this.
actually, in clip 9, I helped everybody understand what the movie is at the end.
If they don't want you to remember something, they kind of like wipe the memory or make that memory unavailable. But there's no reason for it to. It's very weird. It just feels like there's a very specific gap in the timeline that has just been erased.
It's the MIBs. Here come the MIBs.
So yeah, much like a lot of Alex Jones conspiracy theories, she
Yep.
saw a movie and is like, well, this must be what aliens are like. This is why I can't remember certain portions of abductions.
How
They're able
convenient.
to put a flashy thing in front of my eyes and
Doug,
erase the memories.
I will tell you that I actually have encountered an ET
Oh, okay.
in my real life. And he wanted to call his home. He just kept telling me he wants to call his home. I'm like, well, I got Verizon. Is that going to, I don't know.
What is Tommy really like?
He just wants to call his home all the time.
Okay, here.
We've all encountered an alien on your show before.
It's true.
I
Yes, we're going to be
understand.
catching one later on in the episode.
Oh, you're on a streak.
I haven't watched it. I am on a streak, but Carter told me it's a doozy today. Should be a good one. Okay, so I know what you're wondering here. He has the implants in his ears that make it look like Spock ears that are antennas, so he can hear ETs talk. But how many implants does he have in his body? Let me tell you something. If I had alien technology implanted into my body, the one thing I would know is how many there were.
How many do you have, or how many have come up?
Okay, let's see. I have felt at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would say close to 10.
Jeez.
Are you rounding up or?
Yeah, close to 10. Why is that a vague answer? How many implants do you have in your body? Like, geez, I never thought to count before. That's the first thing I
Well,
would
I'm
know.
getting some more next week, so I don't know. Do you want me to count those?
How many fingers do you have? Oh, let's see. 1, 2. Yeah, it's got to be close to 10, I would imagine.
I liked her response of, geez, like, I threw some
Jeez.
bullshit at you. I didn't know you'd run with it to 10.
Right.
Oh, no, these two are definitely on the same wavelength throughout this episode. There is no amount of bullshit either of them could spew that the other one wouldn't be like, oh, yeah. That makes sense, sure.
There's like the competition between the people with systems or whatever.
Yeah, right.
How many?
Did systems, right? You have to be like, well, you know what? Yesterday I was an owl. Like, oh, yeah? Yeah, I was a ferret. Okay, fine. Everyone wins.
And that's the thing that's so fascinating about this is there are times where, of course, during this 45-minute, like at least there was a guest on with your episode, but she's just talking and just blathering on and on. Play my number 22, because for as much as she's just making stuff up, she has such a hard time sometimes making things up. She's trying to explain time. And with a lot of my clips, I cut out pauses and her kind of like correcting herself. I left this whole clip in because this is bananas just listening to her trying to explain something.
And by the way, fuck you for saying at least there was a guest. This Rashad character is even more retarded than Amber, but okay.
Here, time is very linear, but that's not necessarily how time works. Time is more of like a map where it's almost like a how do I explain this? I've had to explain. I always go through this when I try to explain this. Time is like a map. There are different areas that hold, or different ages that hold a specific type of experience. It's almost like different storybooks, but they're all kind of connected and happening at once.
I skipped around on her latest episode, and the impression I get is she does not know how her sentence is going to end.
Oh, and she doesn't know what she's talking. She doesn't understand the concept of what she's trying to convey. So there's no way she's going to get it out correctly.
I guess, yeah.
It's like, do you understand what time is?
Just the idea of saying, well, time's like a map. Let me get, and at the end, she's like, it's a storybook. Those aren't even the same thing. It's
Right,
not
it's
even
not even
close.
close to the same thing. Okay, so I have an example here where she's just retarded because Rashad's trying to explain something.
I have a lot of exames of that.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
Rashad can't explain anything, and so Amber tries to help.
With the one in your arm, it almost feels like it feels almost like stainless steel or some sort of material that's typically used for in like hospitals. That's where like bacteria, like it's easier to clean. It's more
Like sterile?
clean, you know?
Yeah.
It almost feels like there's a lot of fluid flushing out of your body. I think they put in some weird stuff even into the body where they could almost like track liquids by putting in this weird like glowing thing, and then they can just remove it from the body and it flushes out. So there's a lot of like inserting and excreting of liquids.
You guys following this? And of course, I don't have this clip, but Rashad responds to that going, yeah, it actually is glowing. You're right. Okay, why not?
You know what? When I said she's not harming people, I apologize to everyone who's listening because Rashad should go to a doctor. Like if he literally has bumps and things that are they're probably tumors. Like he should go get this checked out.
He's got crystal horns. What the fuck?
Right?
It's not good.
You don't jump on a Zoom call with her.
All
It's a
right.
bad idea.
Before we move on, I do want to get to your clips, but this is
Sure.
Rashad here. He's like, okay, now listen, he's going to explain the implants. This might sound crazy, but bear with us here.
Now I'm looking at it from, your listener's point of view, and kind of coming to this podcast like, well, he has all these implants. Why? Why would somebody, because essentially what we're saying is I've been poked and prodded my entire life.
Yeah.
Right. So, and did we figure out why? Well, yes, we figured out why. A lot of the answers, some of them are still kind of pending, right? But essentially, we've had two different collectives now. So the ear implants, right, were from the mantis beings, and all these other ones have stemmed from a lifetime of poking and prodding from the Arcturians.
Oh, the Arcturians. Okay.
Well, that story checks out.
And this is literally Riley Martin. And what I'm realizing here is that because he keeps going right, this is what we learned, right? She's feeding him all this bullshit.
Oh yeah.
And he's either pretending to believe it
I think they met at an improv class.
You think that's what it is? No,
That
I
would
actually
not
have
be a surprise.
I have a theory about these people on here. I think these people really want to be special.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's their big thing in life. They're like, I'm not that special. There's all these other people that are kind of good at stuff, and I'm not good at anything. I want to be special. You talk to aliens. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And no one can denounce it.
Right. No, my friend Amber keeps telling me which aliens I talk to. Trust me.
Hey, did she read any letters from listeners on yours? Or
No.
All right. So this is a regular thing. So my number 14, she reads a letter, and this goes on forever, but this is just the beginning of the letter where a listener asks the most mundane question that should warrant like a reasonable answer. And of course, everything she responds with is, it's aliens. So I figured I would put in somebody else to give her this letter writer an answer that actually makes way more sense.
Every time I eat Chipotle, I ruin my underwear. Is that aliens?
Yeah, no, those are angels.
Hey, dude. So I have 2 little red bumps on my arm in the same spot, and they don't seem to be healing or reducing redness. You mentioned in a recent episode or video about ETs leaving little marks from doing stuff. Is it possible that this could be from ETs?
Of course not. Don't be ridiculous.
That should be her response every time. But if you play number 15, she kind of skims through this letter, and at one point it's like, blah, 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 da, 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 da. Yeah, I get it. And then she reveals very quickly what's actually happening, kind of dismisses it, but then gets very distracted.
just getting back to that last clip real quick, though.
Sure.
Why would whatever aliens do not heal? Why would your body treat any type of abrasion differently?
Don't know. She also at one point says,
sorry, now
sometimes
I'm asking dumb questions.
No. But she'll say things like, well, there'll be rashes, but a lot of times they don't look like normal rashes. There's patterns, but sometimes they can just look like regular rashes. Like,
it's everything and always.
Everything is aliens.
Okay. They did say down below that there is a spider in the room. So I thought it was that, but the formation / pattern of it doesn't seem like a normal bug bite. And also they have like scabbed over, which I feel like has not happened with bug bites or mosquito bites before. So I bring up the spider point because I personally have come to associate spiders with energy. I really love spiders, and I now associate them with almost the concept of the way, their web, weaving their own story, weaving our life, weaving our path.
So wait, are spiders a metaphor now? What just happened?
I don't know. She's trying to answer this letter, and just the word spider takes her in a completely different direction.
All right, let me bring this up real quick. Did you check out our website at all?
I did, yes. Of course I did.
So on her website, she has my story. And of course, all of this begins with her childhood, which you would expect. You know, from as far back as I can remember, I've had awareness of what lie beyond this realm. Coming from a family with all the sixth sense, it was normal to interact with the energy beings that surrounded us. And then she talks about there was a poltergeist, and it's like all like little kid shit, which again is a movie. It's all this like little kid shit, and then she never grew out of it. Yeah, because her story starts when she's a child, and then the next part is when she's 16.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then finally, it's just like, and now I'm a fucking retarded adult. Like, okay, I guess.
Dear Amber, who would win in a fight, E.T. or Poltergeist?
And then on the homepage, I just wanted to point this out because I think that she's making a mistake here. My gifts allow me to connect various high-frequency beings, loved ones who have passed, past lives, parallel realities, communicate with animals and nature, and provide deep, full-body healings. So,
also, I'm a dancer.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like you got to kind of pick your groove in this kind of thing. You don't want to be like that Korean barbecue place that also offers, like,
we got sushi.
Every style of food. Like, I don't know that your ET stuff is going to be all that great if you're talking to fairies every day, too. Ghosts, fairies, loved ones, angels. How do you believe in angels? All right, I don't want to.
It's incredible. And Chris, you made a great joke about E.T. versus Poltergeist. If you wrote that into her, she'd do a whole show about it. She'd take that so seriously.
All right, let's do it. Let's definitely.
I'm gonna write to her.
She would love that. If you play my number 17, she talks about sensitive skin and doesn't know what sensitive skin is.
Sometimes, like, I think in the past, if I've had little pinpricks, I have very sensitive skin. So there was like no bumps, no irritation, nothing. It was just like a clean dot.
That's not what sensitive skin means.
No. My skin is so sensitive. I can bathe in poison ivy. Nothing. No reaction whatsoever.
Everything is like the heel of my foot. It's very sensitive. What? It's not true at all.
Do you have a lot of other clips, or do you have anything else?
Sure, okay. Yeah. Let's talk about, because obviously our friend Rashad has these implants. The purpose of these implants is for transmitting information.
Yeah. You just have to be able to translate what's coming in, or almost like tune it to the right frequency. I do feel like that is not something, well,
take your time.
I'm getting,
collect your thoughts.
There's a slight hint of something doesn't feel totally truthful, and it was coming from this place of, I think they just, by them saying like, oh, they can't, their hands are tied, it like makes you feel like you have to, because I think if they just do it and like, you know, whatever, there are
dumb it down for me.
things, tools, realizations, whatever,
on the path that you would not get? Could they just download that information into you? Yes.
Talk about retarded. Talk about retarded.
I think that if you use the word whatever twice in the same sentence, you should abandon that sentence.
Yeah, you might be full of shit.
It's not happening for you. I want to point out my buddy Jody B from Po Boys Podcast. When we were reading her website, he wrote in the Discord, she's the Cheesecake Factory of weirdos. It's just too many things.
I got it all.
Yeah, I know. Like if I went to her for a psychic reading or something, I think I'd be staring at the menu for a good 25 minutes. Yeah. Just like at the Cheesecake Factory or, a dispensary.
Oh, I didn't know you had angels here.
It's overwhelming. Yeah, right. I came in here for a sloppy face fuck, but I didn't realize I could talk to loved ones. It's a callback. All right. So they always have reasons why people can't grasp these concepts.
I feel like because this is an ET thing, normal human logic isn't going to activate them.
Oh, that normal human logic.
No. Oh, that's also convenient.
Yeah, all you fucking normies out there would not get it.
Stupid logic.
Unsubscribe from my podcast, please.
Yes. Any person who starts a sentence with, I feel like, is giving you bullshit, is feeding you nothing but BS. I just feel like this show isn't very good.
This is all bullshit. And if the reptilians, no, not reptilians, the evil reptilians weren't enough, play my number 13. She talks about another alien species. And being probed can be, it can be scary because sometimes the beings are just scary.
I'm just looking at the title of this, and I already have a follow-up clip for after we play this one.
Okay.
There still will be moments of discomfort just because their energy is so fucking strong, especially when you have a lot of them. They're really tall, like these 20-foot, huge-ass praying mantis bugs, Yeah.
20 foot. Is that like in Spinal Tap when she confuses feet and inches? 20-foot praying mantis?
Oh, I love
All
this
right,
so
much. Here's our buddy Rashad talking about Rashad catches himself a few times on the show. He's like, hold on a second. If people are just tuning in for the first time, maybe I need to give you a little backgrounder as to what's going on.
And so for people who don't know, Ekricon is a mantis friend that I have made.
He's friends with Apricon, who is a 20-foot mantis. They're buds.
That's incredible.
I want to know, what do you guys have in common? What do you talk about? Does he like baseball? What's this mantis up to? I don't even know. Oh, this is a fun question right here.
Yeah.
Do you call the ETs or do they contact you? Because I always want to know who initiates this conversation, right?
Mm-hmm. Did you call in Ekricon the mantis during this, while we're doing this, or did they just show up? Or was it all just tied into my energy and they're just aware of everything that happens now?
Did they ring the doorbell?
Typically, usually, not always, but usually the route I go is I tune into the energy of the situation itself and or the solution to a situation rather. And any energies that are encompassed in that bubble are what starts sending me things.
Okay.
That's retarded.
All right. No further questions. It's fine.
Yeah, Rashad's like, okay.
All right, yeah.
Clearly you don't know.
It works.
Clearly you don't know, but also he is in it and she's fucked this guy's brain. He wasn't looking for alien. Well, he did come to her, right?
Right. Yes.
So he must have been seeking this out.
This is a success story in her book. I wonder if he's on her website. I didn't even look because there is a testimonials page.
Oh God!
I wonder if Rashad.
It's got to just be him.
Oh, I thought they said mom. Marin, Lily, Ivory, Morgan, Anonymous.
Oh,
that's always
that's
good.
all about UTIs.
Pam, Christine. UTIs, really?
Yeah.
UTIs.
Go back to the anonymous
Julie,
one.
Ariana, Marco,
Aliens
LP.
did it.
Wow, she's got a lot of fucking dumb clients.
Yeah, but those are all Earthlings. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. I want to see something written by a mantis.
I had been in and out of the hospital due to allergy and UTI complications, along with me recently having trouble breathing. That's George Floyd. All right. We don't have to read the website all day. Let's get back to clips.
Hey, play my number 26, because near the end of the show, she remembers that she's been talking about ETs, even though she's gone off on crazy tangents, which I might get back to. I don't know. And she actually gives some really, really good advice.
If you find yourself in a situation where you are having some sort of weird markings on your body or just memory gaps or whatever it is, I would state aloud, only beings of light and love, or only beings for my highest good are allowed in my space and are allowed to work with me, are allowed in any proximity of my energy. Everything else is banned and must leave immediately. Repeat that multiple times. Just state aloud, like, whoever interacted with me, don't do XYZ again. Don't make me feel like I just woke up groggy. Don't have me have lost time. Don't take my body or do something to my body while I'm sleeping. Let me get to know you first, and then we can go there,
Is she getting date raped by these ETs?
That is how this conversation turns toward the end. I still have more clips about this, but I love how receptive these 20-foot mantises will be like, oh, hey, listen, my bad. We'll go fucking pro Bill next time. It's not a big deal.
I meant no disrespect. I'm very sorry.
Right. My next clip, basically, no means no, kind of. Which is, she gets into some crazy victim blaming, and I don't think she'd be cool with it.
Oh, I do enjoy that.
If there is no change in behavior, it's probably a heavier ET that is really trying to push the free will. So you almost have to what has worked with me is and this is a little bit intense, but with ET, sometimes you do have to be intense to make it get the message across. If you say don't do this, but there's a part of you that's like, oh, but what if they do? Then it's like, okay, it's, unless they are very respectful of people, they're just going to be like, you're giving me mixed signals, so I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
I think I'm being too respectful by trying to figure out what the fuck she's talking about.
Well, I think it's what she's saying is
bully the bully.
If you're going to wear short shorts out to the bar,
right? You're asking for it.
Right, Tiger?
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. No means no, unless you're thinking, well, maybe they're not going to listen to me if I say no. Is a praying mantis,
is that spelled with an E? Praying?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm not even sure now.
Sure, yes.
Good one.
Thanks.
If you just want to...
That was a real thinker joke, wasn't it? You gotta put on your thinking cap for that one. And Chris goes, good one.
If you want to play my number 28, that wraps up this whole sort of conversation on... This is really what she gets into, and it's a real bite them on the alien dick, really get angry if they're not respecting your boundaries.
You have to be very firm and really feel it with all your soul. And for me personally, sometimes that requires me to go into a rage or angry state. If I am angry, every piece of my body is online, and I am demanding with every little sprinkle of my soul what I'm saying. So sometimes if you have to just hype yourself up to be stop doing this, really just be aggressive and feel it in your body, do whatever you have to do, and that should stop it.
You stupid fucking blabbermouth!
I love how she's talking about rage in the least rage-filled way possible.
Every piece of my sprinkling body.
Oh, this one is dumb.
It was so much fun. I really had fun listening to how stupid this was.
All right, I think we get the point. Is there anything else you want to play to wrap things up, or anything else you want to
just
cover here?
Play the ending. Play my last clip here, because she ends the show she speaks with such crazy confidence sometimes throughout this podcast, and again just talks and talks. She doesn't know how to end this. It's the limpest dick ending I've ever heard to a podcast.
I'm not sure what else to discuss. I think I've talked about many things, but I think the biggest takeaway is if there's an energy in your home, talk to it. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say about that. Don't be afraid. You are supported. Reach out if you need anything. Sending you love, my friends. Thanks for listening. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, so that episode is all about if ETs live in your home with you, which is something I told my realtor I did not want to have.
Yeah.
No.
Specifically said that.
I check out the Airbnb listing. I'm like, are there any spirits or aliens there? No, okay, good. I'm not fucking...
I understand it's kind of tough sometimes. Aliens living. I love how she starts and says, like, how to find out if they're in your home. Well, sometimes your little sister will put them with her dolls, and maybe you can't tell that it's there. When you're at work, it might drink beer out of your fridge or whatever, but you should be able to find an ET if it's just hanging out in your house somewhere.
Well, unless they erase your fucking memory every time.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
I thought I had a drinking problem, but what really is happening here is this fucking ET I live with erases my memory every night.
Yeah, football season's about to start. I was talking to my buddy the other day, and I was trying to remember a Steelers linebacker from the 90s, and I couldn't. Assumed it was because I'm a man in my mid-40s. No, turns out aliens.
Aliens, yeah. No, you didn't even see that game. Fuck, thought I enjoyed that one. Damn it.
Who are these podcasts?